आप मुझे ईश्वर प्रसाद को नहीं, मेरे देश को धोखा देने के लिए कह रही हैं।
मर्डर करती हुई रंगे हाथों पकड़ी गई तुम्हारी चंचल मैडम दी दहाड़े भूत दिखा के भाग जाएगी वो।
ईश्वर प्रसाद एक चोर है।
आपने अपनी कहानी को सच मान लिया है, इसलिए मेरी बात सुन नहीं रही हैं। Think big, think big, think big.
Hi, Bhumi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. You're looking absolutely lovely today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. So let me start by obviously asking you, it's been 5 years since you've been in the industry, 5 years since your first Hindi film, Dum Laga Ke Haisha, and 10 films on, many of which have been super hits. And obviously now a film on the verge of release, Durgamati. Did you ever imagine that you would be in the position you are today?
I did imagine it. I have imagined like for things that are bigger and better, because I am an extremely driven and ambitious person. But I did not imagine the journey to be this beautiful. Because I have nothing to do, my family has nothing to do with the movies, right? And I didn't think of, I'm very grateful of all the opportunities that I've got so far, of all the characters that I've had a chance to play, of all the people that I've met, and every individual who's really contributed to me being where I am. That's something that I hadn't imagined.
Wonderful. So let's talk about the film now, Durgamati. It's a remake of a Tamil Telugu film, which starred the popular actress Anushka Shetty. Have you watched the original, and did you take any inspiration from Anushka when she did the role?
I watched the original when Durgamati was not in my universe then. I watched it as an audience. It was on the platform, and I was like, oh, I've heard about it. Let's give it a go, because I'd heard that it's a very interesting horror thriller. And a couple of months later, Durgamati happened to me, and I was amazed, because while watching it back then, I couldn't have imagined that I would do the remake, right? And I think Anushka she's fantastic in the film. And it was such a strong movie, and that's the reason we are remaking it, right? Because I do feel like strong stories should reach out to a wider audience. It should reach out to more people. And, India is such a huge country. We have so many languages, and I know art has no boundaries, and art is not bound by anything. But I feel cinema and filmmaking, just as a medium, is so different, right? Our culture is so different, and I'm glad that it's been remade, and I hope the audiences give this one as much love as they gave the original.
Fantastic. Now, you said obviously it's been remade. Quite often what happens is sometimes films are not remade, but they're dubbed into different languages so they can then be released to those regional areas. The director's the same, so he obviously made the South version, and now he's making the Hindi version. So for him to completely start again, not have it dubbed, but to have it start to film it all again, to remake it in the Hindi language, but then also to change his lead actress, does that mean that there's been some changes in the script to what the original was?
No. See, it is a remake. The crux of the film, at the heart of it, they are the same. The film's the same, right? But obviously, it has been, the sensibilities are kind of different. The culture is slightly different. The socio-political scenario is different. So, those are adaptations that have been made to the film, just to kind of suit a Hindi-speaking audience. But I feel apart from that, the soul of the movie is the same. It's not an adaptation, it's a remake.
Fantastic. Now, the movie is centered around you making this your first, perhaps, solo women-centric film. And you've been a very strong advocate for equality, especially when it comes to gender equality and pay disparity. So I think it's quite symbolic that this film is here. You're leading on it. You're the main hero. I mean, I remember when it was first announced, and there's an image of you holding the placard,
Yeah.
calling yourself the hero,
Yeah.
and then obviously all your male producers
Yeah.
surrounding you. Does this make that statement stronger for you in terms of what your personal advocation is for gender equality? And obviously now
I hope it does. I hope it does. I mean, the process of Durgamati was very empowering to me. And I really hope that this kind of reaches out to more people. Because, yes, it's extremely exciting to helm a film, and it's a great opportunity and it's a great honor. But at the same time, to helm a film like Durgamati, which literally has, I mean, it's, how do I explain it to you? Usually, and I've said this many times over the last few interviews for the film, is that the kind of things that my character does in the film, the kind of visuals that you see in the movie and her actions and the kind of drama, emotion that you watch in the movie is something that you usually see your male heroes do, right? The kind of budgets, the sets, the marketing strategy, the kind of cast they've managed to bring together for this film is usually seen in movies helmed by men, right? So for me to actually be a part of a film that is kind of gender fluid makes a huge statement, because this film is meant to entertain both the genders. Because usually if you have a women-led film, they already they already bracket it in a niche. People have just assumed that the film is niche content, and it isn't, because since my first film, I've always done parts that kind of empower my gender, because I feel that's important. It's important to kind of keep hammering it through whatever you do, right? To be it the conversation, the interviews I have, the parts that I pick, I make sure I don't go a few steps behind, and I'm always kind of going ahead. And Durgamati is just not a few steps for me. It honestly is a huge leap for me in that regard.
Fantastic. I mean, you say a huge leap. You mentioned about the visuals. It is a genre that's not often explored in Bollywood. It's a horror thriller. And so no doubt there will have been a lot of action for you. And I've seen in interviews where you've talked about there's been a lot of special effects. And you mentioned that it's been a really, really challenging role. Would you be able to describe the process in terms of when you're filming? I know it's a long one probably to describe it in a few minutes.
Yeah, because the process was different every day. I didn't really have a fixed method. There were days that I just reached set and had no idea what's today gonna be like, how am I gonna do a certain scene. I just remembered my lines. I had a good hold on my lines, and I don't know how everything else is gonna pan out, because it's a film that I can't really imagine, right? It's my director's vision. So from every nuance in my performance to every small little thing on set is something that was created. I couldn't really imagine it. So the process was more about becoming Chanchal Chauhan. I play an IAS officer who's serving jail time because she's in on the charges of murder, which is a big deal. To play somebody who has served time, to kind of match their psyche and to kind of to be able to think like them is something that I kind of worked on. But apart from that, all of it, her physical attributes as Durgamati, the strength that I showed in the character, the grace, the posture, everything that I had for the film is something that was discovered on set for me.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of action in the film. Did you get any tips from Akshay Kumar for it?
Listen, Akshay sir is somebody, once you work with him and once you spend enough time with him, you'll understand that he's just so fit that I don't think anybody can match up to him or but my director is a rather multi-talented guy. He's a choreographer. He's directed some very successful films down south, and he has a very good hold on his body language, strength, grace, and he really kind of carried me forward through this journey.
Yeah. I just want to go back to earlier when you were saying while you were filming, while the process was happening, you couldn't imagine how it was going to look like. Obviously, the trailer's out now. I don't know if you've seen the film yourself, but looking at the trailer now, how does that make you feel? Do you think that it's exactly as you were trying to imagine or better?
I mean, I have seen the film, you know, and I'm somebody who completely loses objectivity. So I don't know if I'm the one. See, I didn't imagine what this. You know, usually when you finish, usually when I have a film on, I can imagine the world. I kind of, you know, you imagine things in that universe. But in Durgamati, I could not imagine anything. I completely succumbed to my director. You know, I've literally done what he wanted me to do. I did not. It would be wrong of me to say I didn't use my intelligence, because that's not true. But I literally
just stayed engaged.
Yeah, I just went in as a blank page, you know, and he molded me the way he wanted to, and I did it.
Yeah. Well, I think it looks amazing, especially when I watched the trailer and I watched that the scene as it comes to the end of the trailer where you're in this other avatar and you're really being really aggressive and demanding on that chair, and I just thought that, you know, it's quite powerful, is that scene. So it's definitely something that we're really looking forward to watching personally.
Thank you.
So finally, any message for our audience, for our readers, in terms of going to watch Durgamati? Obviously, it's going to be on OTT platforms.
Yes, all I want to say is that it's a very, very special film. A lot of our hard work and love has gone into it, and it's going to be out on the 11th of December on Amazon Prime Video worldwide. So please watch it, give it love.
Thank you so much. Thank you for speaking to us, Bhumi, and all the best with everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Care.
Bye-bye.